can see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brian, and today is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, and this is episode 704 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled Solid Progress. I'll be chatting about the day I put in out at Delinquents Gully yesterday and a nice day in the sample inbox. First, let's check in with the coffee crew, see who's hanging out in the live chat, grab a cup, and hang out for about an hour. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing this morning? Pip in early 3 a.m. Dude, 3 a.m. Oh, I guess it's still early. I was going to say that's East Coast time, right coast time, and yeah, that would be still 4 a.m. here. It's still an hour earlier than I'm wandering around in the camper. Good morning, Mike's Homestead. How we doing? Good morning, Rewilder Life. Good morning. Thanks for stopping. Pip says currently blasting the original Korn soundtrack while organizing Dodge nameplate. And then has to really drop this bomb. Side note, the first Korn album will be 30 years old in October. 30. Good morning, Pickle Pete. Good morning. Pip says 4 a.m. his time. Yep, for sure. So that'd be 3 a.m. ours. Yep, I gotcha, man. Anyway, what are we talking about today? I had an awesome day yesterday. It's something I needed for sure. I got to the end of the day, and I was like, "Yep, that was the ticket." It was almost didn't happen. Like I was kind of bumming a little bit in the morning and after the show a little later, and I was dragging ass. And once I got started, it was well worth it. So we'll talk about that. Rewilder Life was wondering what songs, name a song that Korn sang. I'm bad at remembering those groups. Pip. What's a song that Korn sang? Man. Put me on the spot, Rachel. Put me on the spot. Rachel says physical activity and the woods usually helps almost anything. Yeah, individually they do, and together even better. So it was good for sure. Blind. Oh, yeah. Okay. Freak on a Leash. I'm sure you've heard that one, Rachel. That's got to be probably one of the songs that's on repeat in your car. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead. Thanks for stopping. Appreciate it. Anyway, what's in the cup this morning? Cup is full of FTO Blonde. FTO Blonde Espresso. It is fantastic, full flavored coffee that's Scrambling over at Food Forest Farms worked diligently on for a long time to come up with, and once it did, it stuck for sure. It's a fantastic blend. It sits right in the cup. It feels great, and it's got great mouthfeel. It's got enough zip to wake you up, and you can just enjoy it. It's an all-day drinker for sure. FTO Blonde Espresso from Food Forest Farms. You can grab it at 5% off with lots 5 all the time, every day. Free shipping always at Food Forest Farms. And if you're a new customer and you want to try out some of this premium micro batch air roasted coffee at a pretty phenomenal price, you should use lots 10 one-time use code LOTS10. Lots 10 gets you 10% off plus that free shipping for sure. While you're there, check out the One Take Records tab over on the website there, foodforestfarms.com, and you can check out Sensei Scramblin's new co-produced, I believe it says co-produced. He released a new album. It's his sermon. It's he put a lot of thought, effort, and thought, effort, heart, and soul into producing it, with a little bit of help, and it is what it is. It's fantastic. And head over there if you don't necessarily like it. Definitely give it a download, give it a share, for free pre-release on the website, live at the One Take Records Seattle YouTube page on Friday. So check out Scrambling stuff. He's doing a lot of cool stuff, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But let me grab some coffee here. So Scrambling has been working, man, it's been weeks now, on producing songs using AI. Using his soul, his brain, his thoughts, his feelings, and use the AI to transform those into lyrics and music. And it's I was listening along, and I was intrigued. I was intrigued for sure. I thought it was a really cool concept. Good morning, Cormac. How we doing? Thanks for joining. I thought it was a really cool concept, and I thought it was phenomenal that even someone without musical talents is now able to express their thoughts and feelings through music. You know, I told Corey yesterday that I've been singing stupid, silly songs about Walter for the last 2 days in the truck, like driving or doing whatever. His whole life, and with these two guys we got now, we'll walk and I'll just sing random stupid, silly songs to them, and they seem to enjoy it. So it's just something I do. It makes me happy. It makes them happy. And so I started doing it a little bit more, stupid, silly songs about Walter, and they're horrible. I mean, like literally horrible. If I went and tried to write something to express those thoughts with AI, it could be unbelievably better and set to whatever genre of music you want. It's an open marketplace now for expression of thoughts. So this all came together yesterday, kind of happenstance, and it was so yesterday afternoon when I got home, I was pretty exhausted. I planned to just kind of chill out and relax the rest of the night, because I'll tell you in a little bit that how much or what I did, and it's not really how much, but when I got home, I was sitting around and messing around on Telegram groups, just kind of catching up from the day, looking at Facebook and this and that, and yeah, I'm teetering on the edge of being done with Facebook, especially after the last go around with reading all the Walter messages. But I happened upon this fantastic picture in a Facebook group. I'm in some pretty interesting Facebook groups as far as the pictures and the memes in them. I don't know how they get them through on Facebook. Sorry, Walter hair on my hat. I don't know how they get them through without being banned. It must be just the fact that all the members don't care. But this picture was the picture was a guy on a Cub Cadet lawn tractor. They had the deck taken off, but he put a sidecar on it. It was like a little sidecar seat, and his woman was riding with him. He wasn't mowing the lawn. He was riding down the street. It was like actually in a parking lot, it looked like. And it threw me back to growing up. It threw me back to when I was in my small town, rural New York, and you'd see people on lawn tractors. As I grew up, the more rural you went, the more often you saw it. And it just made me chuckle, which, it is what it is. Is it funny? I don't know. It's just this guy's mode of transportation, and he wanted to take his lady with him. So he made it happen. Anyway, I posted it in Toolman Tim's group, the picture. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to drop this here for inspiration. Maybe somebody was like, this is a great idea. I could like put a cooler on it or something while I'm mowing the lawn and leave the deck, but have the sidecar. or they're going to chuckle and laugh like I did because they've imagined something like that or seen something similar. And so all of a sudden we started going back and forth, bantering. Canadian Farmstead was there. Toolman jumps in, and somehow it devolved into Tim saying, "Man, that really could be a country song." And the light bulb went off in my head and said, and this is not to diminish anything that Scramblin's done with his album, because he's dedicated a lot more time than we did to this, for sure. This was just a spontaneous make it happen. But man, within 15 minutes, I had gone to Chat GPT. I just made up a generic, super simple prompt with the title that we had kind of spun up, we had talked about in the group. I grabbed that and I said, make it a cheesy country song, and with that twangy sound and blah blah blah. And the thing spits out just like the most perfect ballad country song about a guy that was heading to the bar on his Cub Cadet that he had souped up with a sidecar for a lady, and he was trying to pick one up that night to take home. And I just started laughing as I'm reading it. I'm like, this is fantastic. And so I copied and pasted it in the group, and I was like, there you go, guys. There's your song. Well, it didn't stop there. My friend Norman, local here, is also in Tim's group. He grabbed the lyrics. He went and he asked what style of what genre of music that it was supposed to be in, and boom, like 5 minutes later, here comes an MP3 file of the song, produced, sung by some unnamed computer artist, generated music, singing the lyrics that I just posted in the group from the AI generated song lyrics. And it was fantastic. With time and effort. And it's not a shortcut for time and effort. I don't think that the AI is a shortcut for time and effort and passion and desire and all the things that make music what it is. I think it's a tool for more people to be able to express that. Do I think there should be a higher value placed on original art, the person actually performing the raw talent? I think it should hold a higher standard, but who's to say that my prompt writing ability isn't going to be transformed into a higher level of art? I don't know. Just something that got me thinking yesterday after we had fun with the country song. So Toolman Tim's workshop on Telegram, if you want to go check that out. I haven't downloaded the MP3s yet. Maybe I could and play them on the show. That'd be funny. I don't know, funny. I don't know if everybody found it funny. I thought it was pretty great. Corey kind of read it and just sighed a little bit. Anyway, that was yesterday evening. Reviler Life's gonna check it out. Yeah, I might download it and bring it over here. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Got a question for you guys before we get into the property talk and the work that got done yesterday. I'm not looking for a winning name. I'm looking for suggestions to get Corey and I's brain stimulating. Yes, maybe one of the names suggested we'll end up going with, but I'm trying to come up with a name for our spot out at Delinquents Gully. Delinquents Gully is going to be its own animal. It's going to be an education facility, a retreat facility, a nursery, all sorts of things and different projects. But we're going to end up with a slice of that and a cabin out there. And it's not necessarily going to be independent, but it's going to be separate, I believe. I know. So as I'm documenting that, as I'm talking about the two things separately, or distinguishing in my logger of what I've been doing, where I've been working, I kind of feel like I want a name for our spot. So, if you guys got any suggestions, Corey and I really work good when we start bouncing names back and forth off each other, talking back and forth, and having that brain fodder works really well. If you guys would just want to keep it in the back of your head, if you come up with something that you think would be a great name for our 2 acres out on the edge of Delinquents Gully, up on the hill, we're going to be putting our small cabin and living out off grid in the woods. So, have at her. Like I said, I can't promise that any of them will get used, but they definitely will help stimulate the thought that we'll end up choosing the long-term name for our little section of Delinquents Gully. So that was just on my list to get out there. Corey's Corner. Well, you put that, and then like, I'm out if anything happens. God forbid anything happens, and she decides to get her head right and move on from me. I won't be able to stay in the cabin. I won't be able to stay there. But thanks anyway. Anyway, headed out to Delinquents Gully yesterday. I was gonna put a significant amount of time into the Delinquents Gully project. I got out to the property, and after missing 5 days of potential work there, I just kind of walked around for a second. I walked up. I had Lots Landing. I like it. Nice, Mike. Nice. This is the type of thing that will get us rolling too, with thinking to Lots Landing. I don't know if Corey's old enough to remember Knots Landing. That's funny. Anyway, I had to go up to Tim's cabin, walk up there. I had to grab some stuff. Regardless, I had stopped and talked to Jamie. He was going to come down and check out the cabin, so I got up and unlocked it and grabbed some supplies and brought some stuff down the hill that I was needing to anyway. And as I was walking around, I was like, I got plenty of time to get my hours in on the general property. I think I just need to go up and do some physical activity, get some progress going on our spot, on our chunk, get moving. We missed the whole weekend of prep work. We have a bunch of stuff here waiting to go up there. Soft-sided garage and the metal shed and all of that needs to be put up. And I said, I gotta do something today. I gotta do something. And so I ran through a list of what I was going to accomplish. It was supposed to be thunderstorms on and off. It had kind of pushed off till like 5 o'clock, and I was out there about 9:30, 10 o'clock ish. And I said, you know what? I think I'm just going to go up and just whack a doodle away at the brush, at the thick ass brush, the small sapling trees and the blackberries and all of it, pull out the deadfall and start cleaning the cabin site, start really cutting it down. So the intention is to cut the whole thing down with a machete, with loppers, and then come back through and really scalp it down with a string trimmer, weed eater, or blade or whatnot. So, when we, good morning, Kershal memes. Thanks for stopping. It is not pre-recorded. If you're still around, I apologize. We are over on the vertical feed with the comments and the live stream. So sorry about that. I didn't see over on the vertical feed. I guess we're over on the horizontal feed. I don't know. I wish this was easier. I wish it all could funnel into one and StreamYard could figure it out how I could do it both out of the same control room. Maybe I can. I should look into that. Anyway, the MO is to rough cut clear with a machete, which is working really well. I'm getting better at getting closer to the ground, getting the sapling trunks cut off closer to the ground, getting the overgrown grass and whatnot closer to the ground. Also getting better at shredding the blackberries and the vines and the thorns and the stickers and the briars, shredding them down as I'm cutting them so they're collapsing on themselves and kind of being chopped up several times. So I'm getting better at that. I went in yesterday. We had cleared the footprint border of the cabin. Obviously we're going to clear bigger than that to work out there, to have some sort of yard space, to have some sort of outside area around the house, a zone 1, if you will. And so I wanted to start clearing that out. We have these secondary structures that we're going to put up, the soft side garage, the metal shed, and I need a spot to put them that's not where the house is, that's also cleared down with a spot to put it up, and someplace that hopefully it'll live long term. So I got to figure that out. And so I said, well, let me find some good spots to clear. The trees on the property are spaced. They're spaced oddly appropriate. And what I mean by that is, like, if you go to one tree and you kind of look, there'll be like a box. And as you go to the further trees out, the box gets a little bigger. And so I was looking around, and there's some deadfall, and there's these trees on the edge, and I was eyeballing it on the with the stakes we had planted, and they were a decent amount away. And so I went at it. I started cutting a path around the outside border. It's going to give us another, to begin with, it's going to give us another 20 to 30 feet on one direction and another 40 to 50 feet each side on the other direction, just to get started. Got to drop some trees in that area. Wanted to have that brush cut off around the trees so you can get to it. And so I just started doing the border, whacking away with the machete, just as much as I could. And I'm out of shape for sure. Like, I'll admit that all day long. I can hold my own if I need to, but if I just kind of go at it until I'm exhausted, it doesn't take long at this point in my life. It's going to get way longer through this process. But I just started knocking down brush and pulling out the deadfall and making basically we're mowing the lawn. I'm mowing the lawn with a machete, but the lawn is brush and thick. And so I got two sides done. So I probably got that would have end up being like 125 feet, about 4 foot wide, 5 foot wide. Lots of deadfall in there. So as I cut the weeds away, as I cut the briars away, I would discover deadfall and have to pull that out. And so I did that. Another thing I got at was something that's been just pending for forever. There was a tree. So you can see a picture in the thumbnail of an arch tree. It's kind of bent over, and there's a ton of those trees on the property because deadfall there constant. And so as saplings, the deadfall would like fall on the top of the tree, but these trees are so resilient, they just kept growing. So we have a lot of these arch trees, these bent trees. And the one path, excuse me, the one path that we want to use to access the cabin to bring in a lot of the materials, actually, it had this arch tree that I took the picture of, but it also had another tree across the path that had excuse me, it was deadfall. It's across the path. It's like chest high. So basically, to walk up the path, you got to go and duck under, and then it's to start to a hill. So it was a really shitty place for this tree to be, and I needed to get it out. I needed to get it out whether we were going to take material up there or whether it just was going to be a walking path, because it was really not really pleasant to work around when you were walking. Not that I don't think you should have to be able to dip under a log like that, but just the position where it was, where as soon as you ducked under it, you were going up a hill. And then when you were coming down, if you wanted to go, you had to go down the hill and like get to the bottom and then kind of duck under the tree. So I've kind of avoided you doing this because of how it was kind of suspended up in the air about chest height. And it was just time for it to be done. I waited to have Corey out there. When Corey was there, we were doing other things. We had more pressing things to do. I had the saw ready. Everything was good to go. And I just observed the situation. I made sure I was doing it safe. Made sure I wasn't down from gravity, from if I cut this, it was going to fall. I made sure I wasn't getting into a position where I was going to have my saw bind up when it fell. And I made sure I lopped manageable size logs that I could move if for some reason they fell on me uphill somehow, or once they fell, I could manage them to move them and put them where I wanted out of the way. So I took my time. I went through that. I dropped that tree. There was actually two, one suspended and one on the ground that I ended up having to chunk up, got them out of the way. No injuries doing that. Actually, injury when I was prepping my saw. I got a little Band-Aid on here. When I was prepping my saw, I was spinning it around. I put a new chain on it, super sharp, and I was spinning it around, and it got hung up on the gear. The gear pinched, or the bar. The chain wasn't in the slot in the bar for some reason, and it pinched up, and my finger dug into the tooth of the saw blade or the chain. Took a nice little chunk out of my finger. I was like, whoa, okay, well, that's a good way to start the day. Hunter asked, have I done a sharpener review for a chainsaw sharpener? Like an automatic chainsaw sharpener? Is that what you're asking? Because if so, yes, well, kind of yes and kind of no. I did, oh, you were thinking machete. I haven't sharpened machete since I bought it. It works great. I probably should. It does work great, and I haven't injured myself with it yet. So give or take. The chainsaw sharpener that I actually did Amazon videos. Was the Oregon sharpener that Jamie at Off Grid Ping has. He was sharpening my chains for me, the ones that didn't end up stretched out. Pickle P says I got taught how to make new chainsaw chains and even replace links last week. Yeah, links are easy to replace. That's yeah. Chainsaw chains are just like bicycle chains. They're just chains with a little bit deadlier blade on them. Canadian Farmstead says I need to learn how to sharpen chains. Grab a hand sharpener. I really like the one I got from Husqvarna when I got my saw. It does all the guides and the blades, and it sets the angle for you. It's and then you flip it over and it does the other side too. That's a hand sharpener. Jamie at Off Grid Ping said he tried several different automatic sharpeners and then ended up landing on the Oregon that I did a couple short style videos for that have worked fairly well. Sold quite a few of them, but I believe it was like the 400p that he went with, 450p. Actually, I was actually looking at it this morning. Hold on one second, I can grab it. It is it's right here, Oregon. Boom, boom. You're not going to let me click on the link, are you? There we go. It's the Oregon 410 120 is the saw that the saw sharpener that Jamie uses, and he's used a saw a lot. He definitely has gone through chains, gone through blades, or gone through chains, gone through bars, gone through everything. I'll drop a link for that in the YouTube comments, or all the comments, I guess, as far as they'll reach. But yeah, he sharpens them razor sharp with that thing. I actually just picked up a new chain because my chains, I burn through chains a lot because of what I was using my saw for, to lop down all that firewood this winter. And I was always nicking it into the dirt, into the ground, into into the little stones and the dirt. And yeah, it wasn't the ideal wood to be cutting also. And the chain was getting hot. The bar oil I had really turned into jelly this winter. Got really thick and didn't flow very well, so it wasn't lubricating the chain enough. And so the last few chains ended up stretched. They just get hot and they end up stretching. So I would bottom out my chain tensioner. I would use them almost, I don't want to say disposable, but I knew it was going to happen. I've checked my sprocket. My sprocket looks good. I probably need to, after the cabin's built, I'll end up having to change the sprocket on the saw. But man, the saw is like 10 years old, and I've basically put a few chains on it and kept it clean, and it's run great. But that chain sharpener, $220. Jamie said he tried the $80 one, he tried the $40 one, he tried the $120 one, and he wasn't satisfied with the consistency or how it worked or anything until he used the Oregon. And watching him use it, I've had electric chainsaw chain sharpeners before, and I bought the cheap ones and I bought the middle of the line ones. And watching him use this one, even though he was experienced and had done it before, I could see easily the how much better the Oregon was. So I think that thing, if you have a saw, if you're going to be using a saw, any consistency, the Oregon is a buy once, cry once if it's something that you need. Hand sharpening, if you're doing one-off things or odds and ends, is not a horrible deal. It's easy to learn. It takes some practice to get good at, but it's easy to learn on YouTube University. Just get the right hand file. Yeah, so got that out of the way, got that chain out, or got that deadfall out of the way, and I was pretty tired at that point. I was contemplating going home, calling it a day. Corey worked a half a day yesterday. Her boss kindly said, "Hey, you need to get out of here. Take another half a day, and you'll be good. You'll be all right." So she was going to be done at noon. I was like, maybe I'll call it a little half a day. And then I said, nope. There was one thing we were waiting on doing until we got that tree out of the way. Something that's been since, man, it was pretty much probably the first week or two that Tim got here. So like 2 months ago, we had our water tote, our first, I guess, our water tote. It's going to be our first water tote for rainwater collection, for water up at the camp or at the cabin site. We were able to source black plastic totes. So the plastic, they're not painted. It's actually black poly totes, IBC totes. So we've had one of those sitting down. They have them locally. Had one of them sitting down at the bottom of the property. And we were so the plan was we needed to pick a spot, figure out where we wanted to be, and then get the tote up there. For the longest time, we weren't really sure where we were going to go, but we figured if we got the tote to the highest point on the property, it was just going to go downhill from there. If we needed to drain water down to wherever we're going, as long as we had enough hose, we could drain it down there, then move it wherever we needed. But at least we could get it up on the top of the hill and start collecting rainwater. Well, the path to get that up there was where this deadfall was across, and there was no way that it was going to fit under it. It wasn't going to fit over it. It just wasn't happening. So that kind of just sat down at the bottom of the property, and I looked at it every time I went out there, and it was a little bit of source of frustration that it was still there and not collecting water and not functioning. It was just dead weight sitting there at the bottom of the hill. And so after I cut that deadfall out, I said, you know what would probably make Corey pretty happy? And sometimes I have to convince myself to do shit. But I said, you know what would really make Corey happy is if that tote was up at the top of the hill. I said, I already got the deadfall out. Let me see how bad it is. I said, at a minimum, I can get it part of the way there. If I get to a point where I'm like, yeah, this sucks, I'll secure it wherever it is. We'll let it sit. And the next time I come out, I'll pick it back up and go the rest of the way. But it's at the end of the day, and I was tired, so I was being realistic that I could get it up there. And so I started rolling it, and I don't know if you guys have ever moved IBC totes. You can roll them. It's kind of nice, especially if you're going on a flat or a little downhill. The momentum kind of helps you until you're going uphill, and then you have to roll it more. Pickle Pete says, did you roll it or drag it? I rolled it for sure. I don't know dragging would work yet on these trails. I don't think they're smooth enough. I think there's enough small roots and things, and I was very careful of those that I didn't like flop it down on one that was high enough to go through the cage and pop a hole in the tote, because that would have been by luck at that point. Pickle Pete says they're loud. Scrappy hates it. Not if you're so. Do you do it front to back or the sideways? You can control the sound. I rolled mine very gently because, like I said, I didn't want it to drop onto a branch, onto an old tree trunk or whatever, and poke a hole in it. So I was actually very reserved. I wasn't just my hands were on it at the whole time controlling it. So it was kind of loud. I mean, especially for a dog, I imagine would be kind of loud. So I started rolling that up. I got to I got to where I cut out the deadfall. It's fairly easy to there. And I think this is really going to end up being the path we carry the bulk of our material up to the cabin site. And so I started up the hill. And I started rolling up the hill, and I would go like 3 or 4 revolutions, and then I would lean on the tote, and I was just exhausted. I was so gassed. And I just sat and looked at the tote, and I said, you know, Corey would be really happy, and Corey could use being happy. Corey could use something happy in her life right now. And I'd roll it 3 or 4 more rolls, and then 3 or 4 more. And then really soon I was at the top of the hill, and then it was a flat shot right over to the cabin site. And man, I got it over there, and I was ecstatic. I was like, okay, I cut some of the yard in. I got the tote up there. I got the path cleared. Things are going. Today I plan to go out, and Jamie has been so kind to been accepting my packages, my product samples and stuff that we're ordering. One of the samples I got was that metal shed that's there, and then the soft side garage that we got is there. They're heavy boxes. They're really heavy boxes. Probably going to end up being heavier than most of the stuff we're going to carry up the hill. So he's been kind enough to say that he could probably help me carry some of the stuff up the hill and get it up there. And so I think that will probably be the plan for today, for part of the day at least, is to transport the shed and transport the soft side garage down to the property and hopefully carry them all the way to the site, if not part of the way. And then Friday is an offsite day for me. I head down to Savannah to do laundry and groceries. That's going to be the new schedule for me. And then on Saturday Corey and I can get out there. Sunday we can get out there and finish up clearing. start dropping some trees out of the way so we can get these other structures up. But if they're on site, it'll be super easy to just roll with it and get those up. So progress. It's it felt great. It felt great to be exhausted at the end of the day. It felt great to be out in the woods all day, even though it was like 80 and super humid before the storms rolled in and cooled things off and dropped the humidity. Chris Dixon says, are you just chopping and dropping, or are you thinking of chipping later on? The stuff that I'm doing, so I've got 2 clearing projects going on right now. One is the nursery that's down at the bottom of the hill, and one is our cabin site. They're both pretty similar stuff I'm knocking down. Right now, it depends on what it is. It depends. If it's woody, like a woody tree sapling that I can get with the machete, which I can get pretty much anything up to, I would say, 2 inches ish in diameter. A lot of it is like 1 inch, half inch, 3/4 inch saplings that have kind of shot up, poplar and whatnot. Those ones I'm pulling out of the way and putting in a separate pile. Those will probably end up getting processed in some form, just to break them down for compost. The briars are getting chopped up as much as I can with the machete, and then when things are clear, I'm going to go back through with the weed eater and really demolish them, and then either like at our site or the trails, I've been at that point raking it off to the side just to get the thorns that are left over, so that when dog paws are out there or people barefoot are out there, they're not going to be getting jammed as frequently with thorns. But the trees, they're not going to break down as easy. They're a little harder to process. So that stuff's going in a pile for later. The deadfall is going in a pile for later. I'm finding lots of fantastic cedar poles that'll be nice for fence poles or tote or rainwater tarp poles. So yes, chop and dropping a lot of the stuff. And then I don't know if we'll end up chipping it or what we'll be doing with the saplings. It might just become structure for wildlife or God knows what. Who knows? We'll see. There's a lot of room and a lot of stuff out there to be cleared. And I'm guessing we're going to use it for a lot of different stuff. But right now, it's getting piled up. If it can't be shredded right on site. So, yes. Yes, chopping and dropping and thinking of chipping possibly later. So yeah, being out there working as hard as I could until I couldn't do anymore, and then doing a little bit more. Being Pickle P says brush piles are habitat. Yeah, they are. Oh, for sure. There's going to be a ton of things that are going to get done out there, so it's all a long game. It's all a long game for sure. I did walk down through the nursery where I did a bunch of clearing last week, and it's browning up nice. The stuff that I like chopped out and chopped up and really shredded with the machete that I didn't pull out, like I said, not the saplings, but all the briars and brushes and little tiny branches. Like I'll shave down the sides of the tree if they got tiny branches that'll break down or cut up. I'll shave those down the side so they all drop and the leaves all drop there. And they're browning up nice. They're starting to dry out and they'll end up in the soil real quick. The soil at this site is not, I don't think it's really going to be an issue. Undisturbed forest for 30 years is a really cool palette to use and a really cool ecosystem that's developed there. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to do more. But working until exhaustion really just helped the emotional issues yesterday. I don't know, emotional issues. I'm fucking depressed a little bit. I lost my buddy and Yeah, so I think the exercise, the being outside, the being in the woods, swinging the machete until I couldn't anymore, and then just stopping and sitting down and watching the stuff around me, it helped a ton. I got home and I felt better. Um, so that's exciting. That's exciting. That's that. I know that I've done that many times in my life, but I think you forget about it and you get kind of sucked into a hole. And when you actually bust out and do something like that, it's amazing what it feels like. So even if you don't have the sads, even if you don't aren't a little depressed or anything, maybe go out and work yourself exhausted and see how it makes you feel. I don't know. Consult your doctor first. Yesterday was also really cool. Like I said, I've been getting sample packages out at Jamie's, and so usually when I would go out to the property would be is when I go when I go excuse me. when I when I go out to the property, I swing into Jamie's. He's usually got a few packages waiting for me. I pick them up. Yesterday was cool. Yesterday was good. Good sample day. I've really. Hey Jim, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Have you been sitting over on Noster by yourself yesterday? Thanks for thanks for being a comment guy over on Noster yesterday. I saw that after the fact. I appreciate it. And thanks for the zap. I appreciate that too. So I've kind of changed my focus on requesting products. When I started requesting them from this Amazon Creator Connections list of things that were available, it was pretty much the lower end, the lower price things that I was targeting things I thought that I could get, that I thought companies would have no problem sending, and so I think I cut myself short. As I started dealing with these companies and talking to them and realizing that they don't really care, they don't really care. I mean, they do, but I think that their job is to spend the money that's allocated to them. So I started changing what I was requesting. I started thinking about things as I was scrolling through the lists and lists and lists. Chris Dixon says it's amazing how many people just simply don't go outside anymore. Nothing better than fresh air and sweat therapy to help the mind. Oh, for sure. For sure. But when I was looking at these lists to determine the products I want to request to do videos for, to do content for, to make my money with, I really looked holistically at it and started requesting things that I needed. All the things that that I needed to buy, or that I looked at and said, that would work really well on the property as a whole, not just our section, but also focusing on things that we use in our life, things that we need for this project. We need a lot of shit, guys, and it's expensive. We knew this when we sold all our shit, that at some point we're going to have to buy some of it back. At some point, we were going to have to repurchase some of the things we got rid of. Not all of the stuff for sure, because we had way too much shit. But a lot of the stuff, some, half, part, I don't know what it's going to end up being, I'm going to have to reacquire, because they're just tools that you need to use, or things that you need, furniture or whatever. So I started requesting all these things that made sense now. It was so hard to request things as a full-time RVer. Like, where am I going to put it? What am I using it for? How am I supposed to do a review? And so I was able to do it for a while, but now I'm really getting into the thing where I actually need stuff. And yesterday was a good example. So yesterday I got 3 things from Amazon companies. One was a new set of hair clippers. We use Wall hair clippers. Corey and I, we've used Wall for a long time. I've been shaving my head since I was a kid, or not a kid, but 20s. So Wall has always been good. The plug-in Wall, plug-in to the Wall hair clippers. Have worked great. We love them, but I saw that they had a company called I don't know what the company is. You have to wait till I do the review. It was actually a name of a company that I didn't think would be hair clippers. But anyway, they sent me out some rechargeable hair clippers. Got a lithium battery in it. Got a LED display with the battery amount, and it's pretty interesting. It feels quality. It's heavy. I don't know if it's going to be too heavy for Corey with that battery in it, but it's supposed to last like 3 hours on a charge. And if it takes me 3 hours to shave my head, there's something wrong. But we'll see. It seems quality. But a new hair trimmer never hurt. New hair trimmer, especially one that's rechargeable and lasts that long per charge. I think that was pretty valuable score. Also got a 3-pack of 2-way radios from Baofeng. They come in a like a family kit where you got 3, probably one for each kid and one for the parents or whatever. But we were looking for an effective comms situation for Delinquents Gully. While there's multiple of us out on the property, whether it's people staying in a cabin that needs something from us in another cabin, if it's a weather radio that people need, if they need whatever, eventually we're going to need some comms. 15 acres is oh man. So it's like we need comms there. Whether it be I throw a radio on or in my backpack or my pocket or whatever and leave one in the truck. So if somebody's looking to get a hold of me while I'm out working, if something happens to me, I can be found. We've done that a little bit with the Baofangs that we had. We do have 3 already. We have some that we picked up while we were out at Squatch Fest for using for backing up the trailer when we didn't have cell service. We could use the radios. And then I also won a little higher model at SRF. But these ones are the family pack 3 2-way radios. They have 22 channels. They have 10 NOAA weather channels that you can go through. You can find the one that works for your area. I started messing with them last night. They seem pretty cool. Baofeng is what it is, man. It's a quality radio company, so they should work just fine. They were happy to send them out, and man, I think if they sell well, I wouldn't be hard pressed to get more if I needed them, if they're working for us. And the third thing that came in the mail yesterday was kind of a toss away. It was a company that had a couple of different things that I was interested in, some more than others. One of them was because I'm a product geek and I like cool little gadgets and stuff. It was a electric screwdriver, but it was more for precision stuff. There is precision stuff I do and I mess around with, and I like to take things apart, put them back together, and the tiny screws and this and that. But I didn't necessarily do enough of that to warrant requesting one of these. But I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Why not? It was like a $20 electric screwdriver set. I was like, it could come in handy. It comes in a case. Everything's kind of new. And that's another thing. All my tools have really paid the price being in the back of the truck. The ones that I selected to keep, they've rusted. And they've just, it's hard keeping them not contained. So it's like, if I could get a new mini screwdriver with a shitload of bits and yeah, okay. So I reached out to them and they wrote back and I was like, hey, they were like, oh, we'd love to send you the mini screwdriver. And I was like, well, what else are you promoting right now? And they gave me a list, and they had this really cool little laser tape measure. I say tape measure, like it's like videoing things now, or taping things now. You don't fucking tape anything, you record it digitally. But anyway, to get the picture across, it's a laser tape measure. The thing is about the size of I don't know what's out there. It's probably like 3/4 of an inch wide and maybe 2 inches long. And it's got a hole in it that you can stick on your finger. But basically it's a button, a display screen, and a laser emitter and receiver. And it works like a tape measure. You hit the button, you aim the laser at whatever you want to measure, you hit the button again, and it reads out how far away it is. I was messing around with it in the camper a little bit. It seemed pretty accurate. I don't know how accurate. I don't think this is something I'd be using for precision measuring. I did do a review of Tim's Bosch laser tape measure, and that thing was pretty cool. That was extremely accurate. But I'm excited to check this thing out, and for multiple different things. One, for plotting out staking out things, staking out the cabin outside, the footprint for the sheds, like how far is that tree away? How far can we run this garden bed? What are the dimensions of the nursery? Things like that. I was like, okay, this would be pretty cool. Hunter says most of those are for ish measurements. Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. Everything has its purpose. But I was reading in the instruction manual, and this is rated. It's rated for so you can change the reference point. So you can either use the back side of this or where the laser comes out. So you can, like, if you want to measure from a wall to a wall, you can put it against the wall and it'll measure from this point, or you can change in the settings and measure from the laser. So you put it on the line and hit it, and it measures from there. So the minimum measurement is like the length of the actual device itself. And then the maximum was 98 feet. And I was like, Hunter says it's for ish measurements. At 98 feet, if I'm within 6 inches, I'm good. At 98 feet, if I'm within a foot, I'm pretty good. Now, am I expecting it to be good up to 98 feet? I don't know. Maybe more, maybe less. I do have a 100-foot rollout tape measure in my truck, so I'll be able to do some testing and see how accurate it actually is with setting it right on the tape and measuring to a fixed point. So I'm excited to check it out. I think for land work, for setting fence posts, for plotting out gardens, for setting out rough stakes on buildings, for clearing areas. I mean, there's all sorts of fun stuff that this thing could be used for. So I'm excited, and it was affordable for sure. I mean, for me, it was affordable. I'd do a video to get it. But yeah, I'm excited to check it out. Cheap Chinese knockoff shit. But a laser and a receiver is a laser and a receiver, and we'll see how it goes. Good morning, John Palmer. Thanks for stopping. So those were the three things that came for me, and then one thing came for Corey, and this has been kind of in the works for a while. We ordered it off of Etsy. So as we were doing research on our new pets, on our snails, and Corey was diving into feeding them, she found out what they ate. She's been feeding them frozen vegetables and some fruit, and they're really loving it. They're just chowing. They're growing like crazy. While I was researching the monetization side of it, I was researching how much you could sell snails for. I was searching about the internet, and I fell on Etsy, and where they were selling, some people were selling adult snails, land snails, and this is one of the places that I was sourcing the prices that I was telling you guys about when we first did this. And as I was looking on Etsy, someone was selling snail food. I was like, that's interesting. So I went to the listing. I started reading. This really cool girl named Brittany. I'm gonna post her stuff. I'll probably do a write up on her or a video or something because she doesn't do any social media. She doesn't do anything. All she has is her Etsy listing and word of mouth. But she was super helpful. We had some problems with USPS. I had some questions and things like that. She's been super kind. We've been messaging back and forth, and I want to help her out. And it appears that her food's good, but we ordered some snail food. Basically, it's a powder. I'm guessing it's like cornmeal and some additives, some nutrients and flavorings. But I'm guessing, buys it bulk, all the stuff bulk, and mixes them and ships them out. And then when we receive it, it's like a dry powder. And Corey, the instructions were super clear. Basically, she makes it into a porridge and puts it in with the snails. And she did some last night, and they absolutely loved it. We got them some dewormer, and then a variety pack of different flavors of different stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really actually more interested in talking to Brittany and figuring out what exactly she's making the snail food out of, where she's getting it, what her costs are, and how that pans out. I'm also wondering if she wants someone driving traffic to her snail food business, and if she doesn't want more business, if she'd be willing to teach somebody how to do what she's doing, because I don't know anybody that would be interested in making more money doing something like that. But the snail food is it's pretty cool. They were definitely loving it. The new snail that we found on Tuesday, I believe. I think it was Tuesday when we found the big new snail. He was all up in that shit. He had like just chowed down a huge section. He was stretching his neck out as far as he could. He's going to be a big boy if he dumps into this food and enjoys it, because I think it's made to really bulk them up. So that was Corey's gift, and she got to smile yesterday. Not only did I get to tote to the top of the hill, which I think she was happy about. She tried to hide it, but I think she was really excited about it. But the other thing that made her day, and I have to reach out to Brittany and thank her for sure, is Brittany included a sweet snail sticker in the package. And Corey loved it. She found a place immediately. She asked me if I knew it was coming. I had no idea. I didn't know she was sending a sticker, but she sent off a sticker. And sometimes it's the little things that you don't even know that you're doing that make someone's day for no other reason than it just happened to be the right moment. So do the little things, guys. Do the things you don't think matter. Do the things you think are stupid that maybe make someone else's day, because Corey smiled, and that's what makes my day. When she saw the snail sticker, she got excited and she smiled, and she was excited to put it on her water bottle and look at it. And the things like this, guys, that's what makes the fucking world a better place. Not for everybody, but for one person. I don't know how many people have reached out to her and told her how much they appreciated the snail sticker. I don't even know how many people actually took the snail sticker out and did anything with it. But you know something? Yesterday it made my wife's day. And this week, that's saying something. You can do that shit in your day. Help somebody out. Help somebody out. Do something. The little things. Jim says it's the little things. Pickle P says every box gets a bonus. That's a rule. Give more than you need to. Chris Dixon says made 2 people happy, it seems. Yeah, sure. It sure did. It sure did make 2 people happy. And one of them could care less about the sticker. So next time you're walking through a parking lot and there's a cart about ready to ram into somebody's car, or you can grab it from them and take it back for them because you're taking yours anyway. If you're in line, I'm not a big thing of the pay it forward not scams. I'm just talking. I'm talking like, do the little things, guys. I didn't have any examples really. Put snail stickers in your snail food packages. There's all sorts of things you can do to make people's day, and I appreciate it. So anyway, 5 minutes after, guys, 5 minutes after. Hunter asked up here real quick, does that tape measure have an active mode? I don't believe so. I think it's a one and done. The Bosch did. I think the Bosch is a little higher end and more accurate. I think this is going to be for general measuring. Pickle Pete said 9 of us in the chat, so maybe 11. Yeah. I'm gonna reach out and let her know. See if I can make her day, letting her what she knows. Jim says, I like the pass it forward thing. Do something knowing you might not get thanked. I never expect to get thanked. It's nice when it happens. It really is. It makes the world a difference. Man, I am all out of whack today. Whacking away with that machete throws my shoulders all out of whack. This is really bad. I need to fix that. But anyway, yeah. Don't do anything for the thanks. Do everything for feeling good about giving. So anyway, let's wrap it up. Let's get out of here. We'll get over to Scrambling over at the Food Forest Farms YouTube page. Sensei Scrambling waiting in the wings to rip out another day. Jim says work the left arm today. Dual machetes help. Yeah, the problem is with my left hand, I don't want to hurt myself. Friday show, I don't know what's going to go on. I might drop a pin a post in the Telegram group looking for questions, suggestions, topics, or anything. It's been a rough week, guys, to think things through and to come up with stuff. I'm sure I'll come up with something either way, but you guys got anything you're looking to talk about, questions for me? I can also ask Corey questions by proxy and have answers from her, or maybe I'll just make them up for her. Anyway, that should be in the Telegram group a little later this morning if you have anything, and not just for tomorrow, but going forward, I'm always happy to talk about things that you guys want to listen to. So anyway, I appreciate everybody listening. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit the like, share, and subscribe to return value for value. Please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any of the value for value platforms like Podverse or Fountain.fm. Visit thelotsproject.com or comfreyroots.com for more information about me or all my links, products, and recommended companies, discount codes, and the such. It's Thursday. Make it through Thursday. We will be Thursday. We're going to wrap up today. Get through today, guys. You'll be on the way to Friday. Tomorrow morning, we will chat, and it'll be rolling into the weekend. I hope everybody has an awesome Thursday, and we will catch up with you tomorrow.
I can feel the sun.